Hi, welcome back to Terminally.
Bald.
Yeah.
What's happening? How are you?
This is what, our fifth episode?
This is our fifth episode.
Fifth or fourth. I honestly didn't check before we clicked the record button. So, oh wait, oh my god. Cheers. I have a smoothie today.
I see you got a Planet smoothie.
I do have a smoothie.
It's our new sponsor.
No. Yeah, no. I wish we were getting money for this. I almost cursed. This is a family show.
This is well, you notice what we're wearing.
Okay, yes.
Tell them what we're talking about.
Okay. So, today we're going to talk about music. So, what are you wearing, Dad?
Oh, you people know what I'm wearing. The man. And look, I got his glasses on. I can't keep them on, though, because I can't see a damn thing. I got to wear my readers to look at
He's wearing sunglasses at night, and he's also a 61-year-old man.
Yes.
Because your birthday was on Tuesday.
Yes.
Which was...
bad.
Well, we'll get there. Let's talk about the merch. So, he's dressed like...
Prince.
Yes.
March 5th, AMC Theaters did all Prince, the Purple Rain movie.
Yeah.
And I took you.
We went to see it. I'd never seen it before.
Yeah. You thought it was cool,
cute. Right? I said my favorite parts were, because the plot, like, it was a plot. My favorite parts were watching Prince perform. I was saying I could watch that man perform for hours.
On stage is when he rocked. I mean, his music and everything else, but some of the acting was kind of, but
yeah, it's just
watching
funny
it in the theater. It's funny.
No, it's exciting.
What I thought was really cool is, so I wore this, and I have a Prince jacket that my wife got me from Prince's online store, and it has all the flowers and stuff, the color flowers inside the insert,
the lining,
of the jacket. So I wore that, and of course we're walking around the theater, and you'd be surprised how many people wearing purple and really supported Prince.
It was cute. There was really like a mom and a daughter. Man. There was a line. It was in the IMAX theater, like fancy, and we were on like the third floor. We had to take the elevator to get to it. Yeah. And there was like a mom, and there was like a line to take a picture in front of like the fancy IMAX screen that had like the Purple Rain cover, and he got a picture.
I did. I had to.
Maybe we could insert it. I don't know how to insert pictures. Maybe I'll figure it out. Otherwise, I'll put it on Facebook.
I posted on my Facebook page for my birthday, thanking everybody for their birthday wishes. There was a lot of people that thanked us. But, what do we have? Norovirus.
Okay, wait. Before we start talking about that, I'm also wearing Sabrina Carpenter merch. Okay, that's Pop true. Diva of last year and this year. She's always been a pop diva, but she's really been on the up.
Agreed.
And it's like a lingerie shirt. It's on the back too. It's like the back of the lingerie, and I thought it was funny. And I wear it with tights and boots to the bar, and it's like a cute outfit.
I'm just glad it wasn't Taylor Swift. No, I'm just kidding. I don't hate
Hater alert.
No, I'm just kidding.
We're Swifties in this house.
True. I don't hate Taylor Swift. She's cool. But the thing about music that really moves me is I've been a DJ for so many years, and I still DJ for free to neighborhood events and things like that. It's just really playlist and talking to the crowd. But music has just been so much a part of my life for so many years and I know a lot of people out there as well love the music, and there's so many artists and so many things that move you, inspire you, can make you really have a better day when you hear certain songs. I mean, that's the same for you too, right? I mean, it can pump you up. Or if you feel romantic and you want to hear something really laid back, it really bring you to a certain level in that range. And then there's pop music. Some of it is just listening music that I really love. And so we're going to talk about some artists tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of things that have to do with music with our family. And I think a lot of people are going to dig it. I think a lot of people are going to understand it, because I'm telling you right now, you just can't do anything with me. You come around my house, we're listening to music. And I'm 61 years old, and it irritates me that they always tell me to turn it down some. I mean, because all the old people turn it down.
Not I. Everyone tells me to turn down my music too.
No, but a lot of my friends come around and go, "Can you turn that down a bit? We're talking." I'm like,
I have a story to share about that. But before we forgot to say that it was his birthday this week.
Yes.
On Tuesday. Yeah. It wasn't the best birthday of all time because we all got norovirus. Now, for those of you that don't know what norovirus is, it's that like winter stomach bug that's highly contagious, and it can last up 24 to 48 hours, and you're gonna vomiting and poo-pooing your pants.
And let me tell you something.
For the whole time.
It was so bad. I told them when I come out of it, I said, I would rather put up with the brain surgery again than go through that crap
Which is
again.
Bonkers to me. I've had norovirus now 3 times because it's most contagious. Well, it's contagious everywhere, but I feel like kids spread it like wildfire. Yeah. And I worked in childcare for 5 years. So I got it at the daycare twice, and then we were 98% sure we got it from my nephew, his grandson. because he came by on Sunday, and then everyone started feeling sick on Monday. Do you want to share about?
Look,
I was worried about him. Oh, cool.
I'm looking at my classes.
Your ADHD showing up. He's
bored,
like, whoa.
I'm bored. I do love these, but I'll be able to see something.
Yeah, go put your glasses on.
I'm 61, man. I got to be able to read.
No, and that's fine.
Oh, there we go.
But what he was gonna say, what I was gonna say was, obviously I was worried about him because he was sick on top of the cancer and starting chemo and radiation, which is just a natural response, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, Dad, I'm gonna sleep on the couch to take care of you.
You did. I laughed because I was getting up to throw up, and all of a sudden I hear her. She was throwing
at 3 a.m. guys. I woke up and I was like, oh no, it's happening.
It was bad.
Which I kind of felt off before I went to bed, and I was like, oh God, I hope it's not happening, because I was wearing a mask. I helped my sister who was sick with her baby. I drove to her place to take care of her, brought her all these meds, and he texted me. His stomach started to cramp.
It was really
my
bad.
Mom texted her, started to cramp. I was like, oh no, like this cannot be happening to us. And so anyways, we celebrated his birthday a day later, and that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
Do you want to share any of the gifts you got before we get in?
No. Let's talk about our podcast is about music, man. We need to talk about music.
Back to music changing lives, bringing people together, people telling you to turn it down.
Well, first of all, a lot of people that are seeing this today will remember this. The first live concert I ever went to was the Commodores. And I saw it at the Auburn Civic Center. I forget what the name of Auburn's big Coliseum. And I saw the Commodores. In fact, I went to see the Commodores twice in the years I was in high school. And let me tell you something. Lionel Richie, Thomas McCrary. There's a lot of guys in the band. I can't remember all their names.
Whoa, why am I just now remembering Lionel Richie was in the Commodores?
Yes, he was the lead singer. And man, they had so many slow songs. Still, Three Times a Lady. Those were the songs that really set off a party where we were playing Spin the Bottle. Because we would just start spinning the bottle and then we'd slow dance.
Right.
I mean, we were little kids, but Commodores were so good, man. Their concert was so awesome. But you know who opened up for them? You probably know who this is. LTD, which was their lead singer was Jeffrey Osborne, and he had a lot of slow hits, but they had some funk stuff. But they opened up for the Commodores, and they put on a great show. That was awesome. I think the second time we saw the Commodores, nobody opened up for them. They just came out and performed. And of course, I saw Lionel Richie a couple of years ago. He came to Orlando, and he has a band that sounds just like the Commodores.
Really?
And, yeah, he brags about the guitar player, how good he is. And they did. They sounded so much like all the Commodore hits. And I enjoyed it. In fact, oh my gosh, one of the Commodores lives in Claremont.
No way.
Yeah, and he came to the concert. It's supposed to start at 9 o'clock. And you know when the concert started? 9:30. And you know why it started so late? Because Lionel was in the back, back in the dressing room hanging out with this guy, because we're all sitting there and we had good seats. I was on the 12th row. We made sure we had good seats.
No way. Wait, when was this?
And guess who's in the 5th row? I forget which Commodore it was. If you said the name, I'd remember, but he came in with all his family. Their seats were open I'm like, who's not showing up to the concert? And of course, Lionel comes out, introduces him. He all came in with his family, and it was good. It was a fun show. Really enjoyed that whole show. But being a DJ for so many years and playing all this music, you can see what affects people and moves them. Because I used to play, you play warm up music, we play some listening stuff, some just fun music, rock and roll, stuff like that, and you could really see how people reacted to that stuff. And so growing up, the funny thing about me that amazes me, when I was a little bitty kid, me and Brad shared a room in that trailer I've told you about on
Brad's
Facebook.
His brother.
They know who Brad is.
Well,
but anyway, I'm on the top bunk, Brad's on the bottom bunk. And so I had a radio that literally it was a little digital radio of which I built little speakers to connect to it, because my dad was promoting all these bands that came through, because I told y'all he knew the Drifters, he knew Billy Joe Royal, the Drifters, the Tams. These are all groups that came through, and Jackie Wilson was one of the artists that he got to know and had come through and perform.
Do you want to show the picture?
Wilson was, I brought one of the pictures that I have. My dad is in the hotel room with Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson really inspired Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson loved Jackie Wilson.
I'm going to try and show it without a glare, so pause it if you want to look at the picture.
Yeah, show that. That's Jackie Wilson and my dad, and I love that. It's hanging in my office. I think it's cool as can be. I mean, look at Jackie Wilson's. He's got those high heels on.
I would wear those today. Those are cute.
But he had so many hits too back in the 50s and 60s. So he was really good. And Dad loved him. Dad said what a great man he was. He said he was really professional, really a performer. he got to spend some time with him. He took his time to spend time with Dad, and just a really good dude, man. He sang "Lonely Teardrops." A lot of people won't know it because it's 50s and 60s.
I know the name.
In the early 70s, but so anyway, he performed, and of course y'all know Billy Joe Royal, "Down in the Boondocks." Down in the Boondocks, and then what's some other things he said?
Not knowing that one.
You would know it if I played it. Very good. So Dad got to know him too as well, and hang out with him. But I got to spend some time with him as well, because a lot of people don't know this. Some people do. That when my dad had these shows, as a little kid, I started singing with these bands. So Billy Joe Royal was the first one, and I'll never forget. So I'd come out and sing Jim Croce. I sang "Bad Bad Little Brown." It's the first song I learned. And my dad was the manager of All American Inn, which is in Auburn. It was one of the nicest hotels in Auburn. And one of his regular bands was in there, and they said, "You're going to sing." And I remember sitting there going on the stage. I was, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years old, going on stage, and the lead singer kneeled down next to me while I sang into the mic, and people cheered, and I'm like, "Oh, I love this. We're going to do this some more." I do have a picture of me singing. Show them the picture of me.
I love this
singing.
picture. It's so cute.
One of the hotels, but I had this too. It's
I want this picture on a t-shirt.
No, look at how much hair I have. Look at that. I mean,
that's the most hair you'll ever see.
And you see my shoes have holes in them because we were just, what do you call it? Homeless. No, I'm kidding. We lived in the hotel there. But I got to sing with some really good groups, and of course I was scared and nervous most of the time. And I'll never forget Billy Joe Royal. He goes, "Jackie, when you come out," because I would sing on the dance floor and they were up on stage. And he goes, "When you come out," he goes, "walk around and hold your hand out when you see a lady sitting down and kind of talk to her."
My God.
Not literally talk
Work
to her,
the crowd.
He did. And I did it one time, and it was like the crowd started cheering and going nuts. So
Dad, I would pay $1 million to be a fly on the wall to see you. How old were you?
It was, I don't know. You look at that. I was 10 years old.
That young? Really?
Yeah. But I sang, went and sang 16 Candles over the years until my voice started to change, and I just didn't work at it anymore. I still carry a note, but it's hard. It's really hard. So anyway, long story short, I met some artists, and they were all cool, man. It was funny. I got to go to a hotel in, oh gosh, I want to say Muscle Shoals, but I'm not 100% sure. But Billy Joe they were recording in the studio at this hotel before they were doing a show. And they recorded me singing, and I never knew what happened to the CD, to the tape. And they wanted me to tour with them that summer. And Mom says, "Nope, can't go. You can't do it." He wanted me to tour with him and sing a song or two when he's performing, and I didn't get to. But anyway, that's a lot of people don't know it. Trip Garner, Tim Pierce, Lynn Thrift, they all came to watch me sing. They'd sit in the back of the restaurant and watch me. But anyway, music, guys, come on. I was going through all the music and people that I really loved and appreciated. Some of these guys are one-hit wonders. I know, Starland Vocal Band had one hit. It's called "Afternoon Delight." I knew that was it was a pop song, and really enjoyed that. I enjoyed "Too Late to Turn Back Now" by Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose. Those are just really good songs. And then of course there was a bunch of people that did a lot of. James Taylor was like a folk singer, country, slow rock singer, of course, and James Taylor had so many hits that people love him, and we got to see him live. At the arena here in Orlando. I got to see Frankie Valli. He did a show a few years ago. Live artists were just the coolest. We got to see John Cougar. Mellencamp is what he goes by now. Of course, we saw Earth, Wind, and Fire. I literally bought don't you remember that? In Vegas. No matter what you see, you're true to me.
I love that song.
Anyway, so remember we bought those tickets at your little bidding fundraiser.
There was a girl. I'm not going to
This
is going on a public platform.
But we had backstage tickets.
Her
in Vegas.
Uncle is their manager
or something.
Or he's in the band, stage. Whatever. Yeah. And so she was like, "Yeah, just pick any show and you guys can go." My parents won they bid for it at my sorority auction or whatever.
Yeah. Backstage.
And they couldn't get in contact with her, and they were calling me. I was like, I don't even really know this girl. I think I've spoken to her 3 times. I'm having to text her. My parents are at the show. They haven't heard from anyone. Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And it all ended up working out. But my parents were stressed. Can you reach out to this girl? We're literally here. Because they didn't have physical tickets. She was just pick any show and go. And they couldn't get into contact with anyone.
And we couldn't get in the show, couldn't get in the show.
But then you guys were in the groupie section in the back.
No, when she finally told us to go to this back door, and some guy comes out of the door. in the backstage, and literally guides us all through the back. We come out of the backstage, and they've got that, the real thin, backdrop behind the show.
Okay.
And you could see them. We were behind stage, and Earth, Wind, Fire is performing and jamming. The crowd's going crazy, and we're standing right behind them. Of course, we walk out on the stage to the left side, and we didn't have seats because we sat there next to the stage. But that was the coolest thing, man. They sang all their hits, got the crowd into it. We were right there on stage with them. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But coming back to me, I'll never forget coming through the back of the stage, and they're out there doing their dances and singing, and they're just rocking the crowd, and we're on stage with them. And you feel like first you get nervous, like everybody can see us, but you couldn't because this sheet.
No, you guys were groupies.
That dropped down. Yeah, it was cool, but
in a positive. I wish I was a groupie for a minute.
When I was a little kid, we had a little party in our trailer. We had invited people over, and I had 2 or 3 Earth, Wind, and Fire albums, and I remember playing them and going, "Man, this music is so cool." Everybody loved it. Everybody danced to it.
To this day, people my age love Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes, because they have a sound that nobody has, really, which is so unique. And I could sit here all day and talk about other artists. I mean, that I really appreciate and love.
He's got an entire list.
I tell you, the first time I DJ'd on a big crowd, we used to have a summer party at the Orlando Rec Center, and it was out by the pool. It was like a what's it called? Not anchor splash. What's it called what's it called, a Hawaiian party? What's it called?
Oh, a luau.
A luau. Sorry, my brain is still getting. So we had a luau, and I was DJing it, and I remember playing the very first time that this really became a big hit. Not the first time, I didn't introduce the song, but it was becoming a big hit. Was Sugar Hill Gang and Rapper's Delight, and Rapper's Delight Rapper's Delight used the Chic's song Good Times. They used the beat and then did a rap about it, so it had a great melody and a great beat to it, and they just rapped about life and being cool cats, and it was just so cool. I played that, and everybody just got out of the pool and started dancing next to the pool. It was just that much fun. I mean, that was a great artist too, and they had a couple other hits after that, but that was really cool. I mean, that was one of the first hits I've ever played. Back then, Leo Sayer, "You make me feel like dancing. I want to dance the night away." Mm-hmm. So he was really good. Marvin Gaye, the Spinners, which the Spinners did "Rubber Band Man," which was it was a great song. It was a pop song, but it was really good. And Carl Douglas, "Oh ho ho ho!"
Oh, of course.
Everybody was
Kung Fu Fighting.
See, she's 25 and she knows it.
That's a classic. Come on.
Yes, Shaka Khan and Billy Preston. These were all top 40 songs that came out, and really good. Carl Douglas did the Kung Fu Fighting song. It was really good. Mm-hmm. But Frankie Valli had a ton of hits back then.
Isn't he still performing?
He's still performing, and we went to his show about 4 years ago, and he was like 82, and he did not sing, man. He held on like this, and he's like this all night.
He's trying to get his track.
He's looking around the crowd, and I was like, "Come on, dude, move your mouth so we know you're not lip syncing." I felt
You're like,
bad
at least
for
sell
him.
it to us.
I felt bad for him,
well, when he's that old, he himself is choosing to tour. It's not like he doesn't have the money. I mean, unless maybe I don't know about his financial situation. But
it was sold out, and I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed the show. He had guys dancing up there on stage with him. I enjoyed the show. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was him. We got to see him live, but he didn't sing a whole lot. But anyway, so everybody knows who my artist is. I had a couple growing up, but everybody knows who my artist is.
You have two major ones that I can think of.
Go ahead, tell them who it is.
Oh, Prince and Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
that's immediately who I think of.
Michael Jackson got a really bad reputation when they thought he was molesting kids and all that stuff. I still don't think he did. I've seen a lot of these people come back and say that they were forced to get money, but you never know if it's true. You never know what social media is telling you now. But his music was amazing, and to think he was not a musician. He didn't play any instruments. Mm-hmm. He created beats, and he created all this. He wrote all this music in his head.
Yeah.
So you didn't think about just come up with the songs and lyrics. And for many years, and being I was a DJ, "Don't Stop to Get Enough" was very big.
Come on,
Live It.
Don't stop.
Yeah, don't stop. Living Off the Wall. It was more of a casual song, but people get out and dance. And he had a lot. He did a lot of slow songs too. And of course, over the years, everybody knows Michael Jackson stuff.
Yeah, duh.
It was just amazing how it would affect the crowd when I would play it. I mean, Billie Jean. To dance to that, people just lost their mind.
And the way that's literally about a girl.
Yes.
That said that she was pregnant with this baby.
Yeah.
That happened to Justin Bieber too. He wrote a song called Maria because there was a girl named Maria who said she was pregnant with this baby and everyone believed it.
No way.
Yeah.
I
was
never
like the
saw
same
that.
thing.
No kidding.
This was in like
That's cool.
2010. No, like 2012 maybe.
You know, another artist that I really love too had a lot of hits, and only one of them still alive, but the Bee Gees. And they had hit. Most people don't know this. They had a lot of hits that came out before Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live, right?
Saturday Night.
With
not live. It's
John Travolta.
Oh, Saturday Night Fever.
Yes, Fever. Yeah. So anyway,
it's like Saturday Night Live, SNL.
But they did so many hits, and I loved it. My dad loved Bee Gees, man. Their older stuff was more of a rock kind of sound, and he had some of that stuff that was really impressive. I tell the story before, but when we were growing up, me, my two sisters and brother, we were little kids, and my mom and dad would celebrate, or they would party at our house and invite friends over on a Friday night. And literally, they had that. Everybody has one my age. It was a stereo that had two speakers built into the stand, and you lift up the top, and in the middle of it was the record player. So you could play records. And my mom and dad would play. Man, they played Paul Anka, a lot of the 50s and 60s stuff, and we would dance and sing around. We would get up and perform. The people would want us to lip sync it, and we knew every song. We learned to know every song, and me and my brothers and sisters would dance in front of my dad and his friends, and they loved it, man. We loved it too. It was just so much fun. Paul Anka, his album put that on, and oh my gosh, just so many 50s and 60s stuff that Jackie Wilson. I just brought that up. The Drifters and all the stuff they did, and then there were just so many hits.
Small sidebar. The way that I had no idea who Paul Anka was until I watched Gilmore Girls. You know the show Gilmore Girls about the mom and the daughter.
Yeah.
And Lorelai, the mom, got a dog and she named it Paul Anka, and everyone made fun of her. Yeah. And I was like, who is that? And I Googled it.
What was the song you did that came? The last song you sang was about, memories. Oh my gosh.
Wait, what? Hold on.
You could probably get it. It's a good song.
Told us to. Production being my mom told us we can look things up.
You do Paul Anka on Spotify, you'll find
his hit Memories.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. Before she comes up with that, that was during our parents, when they really loved to hang out, and we loved it too, man. All their friends are drinking and partying and smoking cigarettes.
Oh, he sings, "Put your head on my shoulder."
But wait, he did Diana.
And it's funny that we're singing them because
it Puppy Love.
Oh, I know that too. Oh, he has great songs.
Wait, go scroll up. I'll tell you the song that he did. It was really Times of Your Life. Yeah, that's the song about.
Had the time of
what
is that? Footloose, not Footloose. What is that? Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is that?
That was oh my gosh, the two guys that sang that.
I'm looking it up.
Somebody knows it's listening to us right now. Anyway.
Well, I was gonna say we really wanted to. Sorry, before you lose your
go ahead. What
train of thought?
Yeah.
I was trying to find Time in My Life. Whatever. Well, that's a sidebar.
We were gonna play some of this music while we were doing
this.
But
YouTube copyright.
Yeah, YouTube will shut us down, so we didn't want to record this whole thing.
I know.
So anyway, some other artists when I was DJing at my prime, and they still get people dancing now. Lakeside, Gap Band. Lakeside did Fantastic Voyage. Gap Band, Gap Band. Now I gotta get up early in the morning, and Party Train. They had so many dance hits. It was good.
This feels like a conversation we have just like when there's no camera.
I know, but
where he's singing a song to me and I'm like not ringing a bell.
They did funk that was really good. Lakeside, Rick James was the man too. I love Rick James
that one.
too. Rick James had a bunch of hits. In fact, I was underage, just barely. I was a year under the drinking age, and me and Lynn Thrift were down in Panama City.
So 17 at the time, right?
And he fixed my driver's license, and I was like, dude, I can't believe you're doing this. Made my driver's so we'd get into bars, and Rick James would just come out with Super Freak, and I could dance. I was a good dancer, and
you can move.
We went to this bar, and that came on. I'm in the dance floor dancing, and of course, some girl started dancing with me, and she wanted to make out with me.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. But
it wasn't my mom.
That's when I learned. But I was.
When we say the rest is history,
18
it's
years
funny.
Old. Yeah.
Like it seems like it was whatever.
Right. But the funny thing about it is, looking back at it, I realized that if you're a good dancer and you get going, the girls come a running.
Right. He said they could feel my aura through my moves. But it's also another side comment about that. It's funny when he's always like, oh, my friend fixed my ID. Like, what did he do? Like, just change the date? Because weren't they paper IDs?
No, they had plastic.
Back in the Stone Ages?
There's no plastic covered. And then what he did is he took a little sharp razor blade and cut out a number, took it out, exchange it with another number that had the year I was born.
But he acts like, oh my God, it was all my friend. Like, I know even though you were nervous,
I don't
you
want to
still
talk
let
about
it
this.
happen.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't look this
right,
bad. Because when he did it.
You're not looking bad.
I'll tell you a
Fake
quick story.
IDs are a thing, okay? Everyone has
I know
one.
this.
He's seen mine. It wasn't good.
But listen to the story. So we're going.
Okay, your story that you were sharing.
Yeah. So here's my story. It's kind of funny. So we're standing in this long line to go into a bar, and I'm using the little fake ID that Lynn Thrift put together.
Uh-huh.
And
the one he carved out for you.
I'm nervous. It's a long line.
He's trembling.
There's
He's sweating.
a ton of people trying to get this bar in Panama City. We're going in, and of course we get, I don't know, 10 or 15 people back from when these people come in, and the big, huge.
They're always big, aren't they? The bouncers.
The bouncer, and he's looking at this guy's thing. He's looking at him. He goes, "Get the hell out of here!" And he leans back and slings this guy's driver's license into the parking lot.
And that's the dude just in front of you.
Yes, like 4 or 5 friends.
Oh yeah, I'd be sweating.
And I went, this guy's not gonna buy mine for nothing. There's
at least
no
he
way.
take it.
I'm my next thought is to think I've got to watch where he throws it, because
that's what I'm saying. He could take it though. At least he's throwing it away.
And this is the same bar that I danced at. Rick James' hit came out because the guy looked at it and goes, "You guys come on in, have fun." Of course, there were some underage girls with us that they wouldn't let in because they thought they were going to get in.
So this wasn't the same night.
We went on in. We didn't care.
So this wasn't the same night.
It was the same night.
Oh, it was the same
girl,
night.
Super freak.
This was the same night that he made the ID for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying this is the same night as the Rick James. I get it now.
Yeah. Anyway, it's crazy. I mean, listen, me, Tim Pierce, Trip Garner, Jay Stern, we did some crazy things back when we were young.
Are they consenting to you using their name?
I don't care. We're going to tell these stories eventually before we're done with this. So anyway, Rick James is awesome. I love Rick James. He has so many hits. I read his autobiography, and that's another thing I'm doing now. I love reading I've read, of course, Prince had one, What Was Left, but I read Morris Day's, which included a lot of his life. I read Aerosmith's, which is really good. I'll tell you another one you got to get. If you guys like Van Halen, get Sammy Hagar. It's called, Red. Oh my gosh.
I'll look it up.
Red, yeah,
it's on your side table right now. I can see it in my head.
His book was really good. I enjoyed it a whole lot. Like I said, I read Michael Jackson's, which was kind of, and I read 2 of those. I read one that was a press guy that followed him, and he wrote a book about him. That's it, Red. I said Red, right? Yeah, that's it right there.
My uncensored.
But that was a really good, and I read 2 of Willie Nelson's, which is really good. I read Keith Richards. I mean, is it Keith? Who's with the Rolling Stones? Is it Keith? Yeah, Keith Richards. Anyway, that's my brain. My brain's still recovering. My brain's still recovering. But I'm reading some of those now. And my wife got me for Christmas. She got me the Van Halen's drummer.
Keith Richards.
Is Keith Richards. It was a good show about the Rolling Stones, but man, they were crazy.
Now I'm thinking of Rolling Like the Rolling Stones.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Isn't
that funny? So we went to see Purple Rain, and we watched the Bob Dylan movie
all in one week,
which is interesting
Perfect.
too.
We were doing research for the pod.
Bob Dylan was a folk singer,
yeah.
And then he decided I want to be a rock and roll singer, and he was getting pushed around. That was crazy.
He performed at the folk festival, and they all were throwing things at him. Which you were saying, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Music fact.
Yes.
You were sharing about Prince. He opened for who? And
Rolling Stones.
They
threw
circling
food
back
at
to the Rolling
him
Stones.
so much because he came out in underwear. For the Rolling Stones, he should never opened up. But the Rolling Stones were playing in a Coliseum. Outdoors.
Big arena.
Yeah, and so he was trying to get exposure, and of course, they threw stuff at him. He cried and left off stage. He's in his underwear.
Horrible. Okay.
Rolling Stones fans, but he did come back and do it. He did tour for them again and just learn to dodge the food because people still threw food at him.
But that's horrible.
But he finished the set.
I think that's awful that people's first reaction is to throw food and be hateful towards an opening act. Like they're opening for the band.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? I literally am thinking about, I went to a concert one time for Still Woozy. They're kind of, I think he's like considered like indie, I don't know, band.
Yeah.
And
good?
I DM'd the opening artist because I loved what she was doing. Like, she wasn't like amazing, but I just think it takes so much confidence just to be on stage. And I was like so jealous. And I messaged her. I was like, you did amazing tonight. And she messaged me back and was like, thank you so much.
Really?
She actually is in the band, but then she has like her own separate work where she was opening for them.
Yeah.
I saw them at Hard Rock.
Oh, wow.
Hard Rock
Cool.
Live.
Yeah.
In like 2022.
I saw Hank Jr. there.
Really? It's a good venue. I had my
Everybody
high
gets
school
hammered at
proms
his show.
there. Yeah, because they also pour generously. Every time I've gone to a show there, I've gotten a margarita.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I laugh because my wife doesn't drink a lot, and I was funny that concert. Oh, she drank.
Y'all are having a time.
Well, Hank, I didn't drink. I stopped drinking when I saw what she was doing. But Hank Williams Jr. put on a show. He's really good. But it's whenever I think about artists as a whole, the majority that I connect with was more for artists that made people dance, because that's what was really really fun. So I mean, the Tom Band was a big one. Ohio Players, Roller Coaster, and they did Fire, Ready for the World, Ready for the World. Oh Sheila, come on, you know that. Oh Sheila. You don't remember that?
No,
Heat Wave, Always and Forever. This moment with you.
I'm feeling like a bad music listener, Dad.
Well, okay, they did Boogie Nights, Ain't No Doubt.
Okay, I know that. I know that.
So people love that. Cheryl Lynn, Got to Be Real. It's. Don't make a face.
Oh, I love
you
that
know that song. I know.
To Be Real.
Yes.
You know,
Cheryl Lynn.
B was telling me that I used to dance to that song when I was a baby.
Yeah, you probably did.
Because I found it
cool.
again recently, and I was playing it in the car.
You know this one.
I love that
This is
song.
the one that only hits, but Wild Cherry. Play that funky music, white boy.
I didn't know the band's name was Wild Cherry.
Music, right.
That's a classic. I didn't know their band name was Wild Cherry. That's a cool band name.
Kool and the Gang. Tons of hits.
Classic.
Kool and the Gang, man. The Celebrations played everywhere all the time. I wish that the lead singer, James Taylor, it wasn't James Taylor that sings folk music, but James Taylor was the lead singer, JT, and I don't know what happened to them. We saw them live out at one of the parks here in town.
Yeah, it was Busch Gardens.
Busch Gardens. And, of course, everybody was there except for JT, which he was the lead singer for all those songs, most of them. And
did he pass? Why was
no,
he
no,
there?
no. He's still. I'm a Facebook friends with him. He posts stuff all the time, but yeah, he well, obviously they were good, man. They had a great song, a slow song, fast song. There's just so many hits from Kool and the Gang. Yeah, I mean, and they did a lot, played a lot for them. I know you're gonna know this one, Sister Sledge. Sister Sledge. Okay, what's the song we played at my mom's funeral when it was over?
Oh, We Are Family, which is so funny because she said she wanted to be walked out to that song.
Yes.
At our funeral, we're all like sad and crying, and then you just hear like it basically was like a record
we
scratch,
had
and then
to
that song starts blasting.
I'm not making any offense to the Baptist church, but you hear that call?
Yeah, I do hear that.
The Baptist
Hopefully
church.
the audience
I had to
can
beg them. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I'm Baptist, but they didn't want to do music. They didn't want to play that, but they did. They played it.
It's blasphemous,
real good.
Dad.
Yeah, of course, but not blasphemous.
I'm making a joke.
I know you are. But anyway, KC and the Sunshine Band.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Name a song that he did.
I already read it because he has a list here. In case you guys didn't know, he's reading off this long list.
Well, I had brain surgery.
No, I would do the same.
I know,
I have so many artists and songs I want to shout out. I think that has nothing to do with that, and I would do that too. But that's what we keep staring at.
Cameo.
I can see.
Cameo. I wired up. Cameo. They did a lot of hits.
Dad, I'm not.
Gap Band. We have said that. They're really good. I loved every song that came on. You know, one of my favorite groups.
Yes, Nelly.
Nelly, yeah.
Hot
Nelly.
end.
Yeah. The rest rap. But Bar-Kays, Move Your Boogie Body. That used to get the crowd going like crazy.
Or not
man.
knowing.
And they did Hit and Run just for fun. Of course, Grandmaster Flash. Oh my gosh, I created this list. I did on my head, and I typed it back in. The Commodore's Brick House is probably the biggest. It's probably one of the biggest hits to get my. I like to think about my generation, right? So we grew up in the late 60s, 70s, and 80s. And all the groups that came out back then, Prince, Michael Jackson, the Jacksons and Jackson 5 came out. So many artists. Rick James came out. Did I say that already? All these, and they came very big in my generation, and they made so many big hits, and just moved people not just to dance, but in some of the songs they wrote had a lot to do with society, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I mean, people don't understand this. My dad owned a country radio station, so I loved country. I love rock and roll. I mean, 38 Special was a Southern rock. Loved them. Rock and roll wise, AC/DC, Boston, Fleetwood Mac, Van Halen.
I love Fleetwood Mac, you guys.
I mean, I remember I used to do this thing in back in the day when I was DJing at Church Tree Station. We'd be in the middle of a dance set. The crowd's peaked, going crazy. And I would kill my record player and turn all the lights off. I'm going like, oh man, I'm acting like there's damage going on and all my stuff. And of course, all the lights are on and everybody's looking at me like, what's going on, man? They're screaming because they were jamming. They were jamming like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm trying to fix it. And I would hit AC/DC, You Shook Me All Night Long. And they would lose their minds because they're like, you were playing rock in a dance club, and I would do a rock set. And I didn't even do a lot of mixing to it. I would just play song to song rock stuff, and people just loved it, and they would all sit there dancing. It was just so funny how I came up with that little trick. It worked like a charm. It was just so
I would believe it. If the DJ started being like, what's going on?
It was so funny. It was so funny. I mean, and of course I do a lot of, and then of course, the big one, Bob Seger. What's the one he did? It was in the movie with Tom Cruise. What was the song?
Googling. Are you talking about Top Gun?
No.
Is Tom Cruise
he
in Top Gun?
He became a pimp in that one.
Oh, my age is showing.
Well, anyway, Queen.
Wait.
Queen.
Bob Seger.
Yep. Bob Seger's biggest hits.
Old Time Rock and Roll. That's the song.
So that was the big one, yeah. Queen
Classic.
had a ton of hits. Yeah.
R.I.P. Freddie Mercury. Yep. Rest in peace.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I think I might just feel
Eagles,
like this.
love the Eagles.
Yes. The Hotel California?
Yes. Oh, look at you. Yeah. I remember riding around with Tim Pierce, and we didn't get tickets to go and see Eagles. We were in high school, and the Eagles were performing out in Auburn, and we couldn't get tickets. So we literally stood outside the wall of the Coliseum and listened, trying to hear them through the wall.
I can't speak for all artists, but Taylor Swift, when she would play venues, she would have a screen on the side of the arena playing the show.
So we could stand outside and watch
people would camp out and watch the show, even though they couldn't get tickets there.
That's cool.
I don't know if that's just a her thing or if it was the venue thing, but I think that is cool. I was going to say is that you list all these bands out to me, and I am like, you really lived through a prime time of music, but I also feel like I'm saying this because I'm also living through like a whole different generation of music.
Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, Sweet Home Alabama, duh.
That's right, but they had a lot of hits. Go ahead, finish your story. I'm sorry.
But it's just so crazy that you went to college in like prime funk, rock and roll. I guess rock and roll was more 70s, 60s.
I wasn't as rock because a lot of the roughnecks that were doing smoking pot and stuff in the school would listen to that, so I kind of
roughnecks.
I love funk. I've always loved the funk because I like dancing.
Funk just hits the soul in a kind of way.
Me it does.
And it's funny too, Dad, because I listen to my playlist I just find random songs of artists closer to my age. Yeah. No shade.
Yeah.
But I find that I like am drawn to funk music that's like very distinct. I've played artists for them and they're like, this sounds just like Prince.
It's in your blood.
Which he says all the time.
But I do love rock. I bought a lot of Queen. They were good. Peter Frampton, which we saw in concert, 3 years ago.
That name sounds very familiar.
Peter Frampton.
What does he sing?
Oh,
I'm looking it up.
Peter Frampton.
Spotify, shout out.
Yeah, Peter Frampton came to the Hard Rock Live, and he's had some physical issues, so he had to sit down and play the guitar, but he could still play it like crazy, man. And one of the biggest hits he made came out. His live album was just phenomenal.
Oh, I'm seeing all of his top hits are from his live album.
Yeah. Show Me the Way, Baby, I Love Your Way.
Oh, he sings that.
Yes,
okay.
And then, Do You Feel Like We Do? He did that live for us at Hard Rock Live. He did it just like that live, and I was losing my mind. And we bought second row seats to that. It was so good, and he can play the guitar like crazy, which I've been trying to do. I've been still trying to play the guitar. I can play like 6 chords. I can't play as good as Uncle Dave.
But still do pretty well.
I'm learning. I'm trying to learn.
I was listening to some folk music today, actually.
Yeah.
And I just really want to learn how to play the violin.
Well, you should.
So bad.
I think you should.
The fiddle.
I want my grandson to learn. But anyway, Leonard Skinner, I laugh all the time now because all my friends that I've met know him from Alabama, but they will call Steve Fronstein across the street. Steve will call me from a bar because he travels a lot for work, and he will call me from a bar and he goes, "Here's another band playing Sweet Home Alabama."
It's a classic. Like it follows you everywhere. They played it on our cruise to the Bahamas.
He was in Ireland.
Yeah.
And in Ireland bar, and they stopped and played Sweet Home Alabama.
That's crazy. If it was like
he calls me from the phone. He goes, "Listen, I'm in. I don't know where, somewhere in Ireland." He goes, "Listen to this." In Ireland, they're playing Sweet Home Alabama, which I obviously I always loved it, and obviously University of Alabama plays it, but so does the University of Auburn, which they should. Alabama, it's about the state. It's not about the University of Alabama.
I will say, sorry to cut you off, but he would DJ our 4th of July event that we had in our neighborhood. And I was in high school at the time. I was like, Dad, play Sweet Home Alabama. I'm like with my friends. And he's like, which version? I got 13. It's like, I don't know. The OG version? Like, what?
They had a dance version.
I tell everyone that story. Like, all my friends think that story is hilarious because it just, like, is so... It just sums up him in, like, one story. Yeah. Like, I'm like, my dad was a DJ and also he's a
We're way over
music
time.
lover. We are over time, but you know what?
We can go... we're 45 minutes now. But anyway, So I learned a lot about country from my dad, and he showed me that the country lyrics were more important. The music as well.
Storytelling.
It was storytelling. And so he would play a couple things. I started going, man, not only that, if you listen to some of the notes from the guitar or in the band, you'd go, man, that fits right with the notes they're singing. George Strait, awesome. George Jones, phenomenal. Johnny Cash. And it's funny because I was not a fan of it, and Dad started showing me some of the stuff, and I started going, man, Dad knows more than I think he does, because he was always good to say, and Mom too. They go, oh, I like that. It'd be a pop song or something, and it had some good words and music, and they started to appreciate it. So I started paying attention. Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton, the group, the group singing group Alabama, which my home's in Alabama. And that was a great song. I remember my dad bringing it from the radio station. He had an extra, 45 that he'd got in the mail, because back then the record companies would mail the records free to radio stations to play them, try to get them to play them. So that's why I got so many records back in the day, because all the funk and rock, Dad didn't want it. So he gave it to me, and that's how I built such a big record collection. Yeah. And so that was a big part of it.
You still have them?
I still have them
They're all upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
You got some down here. No, you used to have them down here.
Yeah. I mean, you think I got
oh my God,
3 or 4,000.
Oh, easily. I wasn't going to say that much, but I believe you if you think that.
It's a bunch.
It's a lot.
But,
like 2 bookcases worth easily.
No, 1, 2, 3. I have 4 bookcases, babe.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4.
Where?
What do you mean?
We'll talk about this later.
Yeah,
right. I only remember 2 bookcases growing.
I
believe
you. I have
you.
my DJ equipment set up too. I don't do it much.
He does.
Anyway,
he has his little man cave upstairs.
But anyway, so many artists. I guarantee a lot of people could probably come back and go, man, I forgot about some of these groups, and probably they're saying you didn't talk about so and so or whatever.
Oh, this is again, as all of these episodes, we are going to talk about a multitude of topics. But there will be multiple episodes on different topics. And music, there will probably be at least 10.
My daughter, Alex, that has my grandson, said, Dad, do she wanted to go an hour. So we well exceeded the 30 minutes. But to talk about music and what you liked, and this will be great for him to watch when he gets to that point. Because, Luther Vandross, come on. Luther Vandross. His voice, his slow music.
You love Luther.
Well, I'm a romantic. I've always been a romantic. And
he's a Pisces.
Is that why? Because
I'm a
Pisces?
Soft. Well, and you have a lot of water in your term.
I'm not soft.
There's no, let's not talk negatively about the word soft. I don't mean, when I call you soft, I don't mean that negatively. That maybe means something different to you. I know. I'm just saying, like, Pisces are, like, softer.
Well, I was a romantic, so I always loved, not girls, but romantic about the past and things that you've seen
in life.
Yes,
that's why people like
as
music.
A whole. I mean, I love listening to. I like I said, a lot of the new country stuff. I like a lot of that stuff. I listen to a lot of it, and the Zach Brown band. I just like everything they do, man. I know it's Zach Brown.
You do love them.
He just does a lot of stuff. His guitar playing, he's really high on singing about that, about his dad, his kids. He does a lot of stuff about going out to play music and write it for the crowds. I love that. I mean, I love James Taylor too, man. He has so much stuff. His concert was awesome. And then, oh gosh, who opened up for him? He sings "Running on Empty, Running On."
I don't know.
Running blind, running into the wind.
We can make this our last artist we talk about, because I know you'll have.
He opened up for James Taylor and came out and performed with him on the stage. And he had a bunch of. I listened to 2 or 3. I had 2 or 3 of his CDs back in the day. Jackson Brown, and every single one of his songs and every CD I did was just phenomenal. He sang about doing drugs. He sang about really trying to be a hit artist, and really not paying attention. People not paying attention to him, but I could just go all over the place for different
Oh, I could
artists.
talk about this for hours with you. Like, it's the way that I feel like we haven't even talked for 30 minutes and we're well over time.
It's music will save you. It will lift you. It will release you. It will
validate your
make
emotions.
you a better person. It will your emotions.
Make you sad.
I can't even.
Angry.
It's hard for me to fight getting emotional because I love music so much. It just moves me, everything. So, you know, if you ever came to my house, I have upstairs, I have a DJ stand set up. I have 4 huge speakers set up.
Oh, yeah, he does.
I've got the same getup in my garage. I got the same getup on my patio. Now, I didn't spend a lot of money. I ain't rich. But that kind of equipment now is cheap. The amplifier speakers, nobody does that. They headphones in this phone is all they have to. So the stuff is really cheap. So I have that in my garage and in my patio.
Which I love.
Upstairs.
I love having speakers everywhere.
Yeah, me
I
too,
love that.
man. And I'm always told to turn it down.
I had a birthday party and he set up his DJ. He has these like laser lights already. He already had all this stuff. Like I could throw. I could easily have a club at my house.
I didn't even
and then I easily played music with stuff he already had set up. Like he already has these like laser lights. Just like here's like told him. I sent a video to my friends. Like mind you, my dad already had this. Like because I wanted to just like have a little party with my friends.
Light.
It was so fun.
The laser lights.
And,
I've got a fog
I
machine.
can play the music outside.
Oh,
the fog machine was out. It was out. I used it. Yeah. And now it's like not working suddenly.
Never doing that. I know.
I didn't do that.
It's fun. So we wanted to do this about music and really.
But what inspired it was for my nephew, his grandson, to know what his grandpa liked to listen to.
Yeah, he's going to grow up and learn who he likes a lot. It's just like I said, one of those things. Jimmy Buffett. Did I say Jimmy Buffett? Love Jimmy Buffett.
I don't think
God
you
rest
did, but
his
you know
soul.
what? We'll go through and list off who you mentioned, and then you can save the rest for another episode.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's a good point. It's almost 50 minutes now.
Yeah.
But hey,
we can also, we'll talk if we want to work our way up to.
We'll do another one of these because I got 1,000 episodes. I would wish we could play them, some samples.
I know. There's not even an amount of seconds we can play to not get copyrighted. They were going to copyright us regardless. So,
but I get it, though. I looked up online
and
I started thinking if I was any old artist, like Steve Miller, we're not making money doing this podcast, but if I was an artist like that, I would want somebody that's not making money to play my music because it exposes to people that never have heard it before.
Mm-hmm. And I was telling him, it's more
I
their management. I feel like the artists themselves don't always care, but sometimes they do because then it's a fine line, right? They'd have to go through and approve everyone who wants to use their music, whether it's for good reasons or bad or, claiming it's their own or something.
I've seen people...
And that's a lot of time and money.
Especially artwork. I've seen artists that perform music and things like that. Most of the ones say... give it away because you're not trying to make money. If you give it away, then you're going to tour around as a band to make money.
Right.
Instead of trying to make it selling the music because, to me, they don't make a lot of money anyway on Spotify like they used to. And so to give it away should be the key for all of them because you expose, man, I love the way this guy writes songs. I love the way he sings. I'm going to get more of him. I'm going to go see him. I'm going to become a fan of his, which is what they all need to believe in. And not be where I'm a owner of this publishing rights, which is most of them have publishing rights and own it. So the lawyers be calling you up going, you can't play this. You're gonna get billed for this. But I would be the opposite. I want somebody to play it for anybody else. If I wrote a song and it was enjoyed and loved, that's what it should be.
Especially if it's someone appreciating it.
Yeah.
But again, that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we have these copyright rules set in place for people who have malicious intent, you know?
Yeah.
Last thing before we close up, I will say I made a video during COVID to No Option by Post Malone. Great song. I feel like you would like it. And it was just a video of like a recap of my year. Yeah. And I posted on Instagram and I got copyrighted, but they still let me keep it up. But then it said the song will not be played in this amount of countries. And it was like Italy and like all these countries in Europe, but they could play it in America. I was like, well, I'm going to keep it up because all of my followers in America. Yeah. And then I forgot there was this exchange student from high school from Italy who followed me, and I still followed her, and I was like, oh, she can't listen to the audio. She's going to get no audio. But I was like, whatever. No, but yeah, that's when copyright has bit me in the butt.
I don't have to read anymore, so let me go back to being Prince's.
Yeah, well, we do our outro. Okay, well, again, subscribe so you can see when we upload. We upload every Friday at 9 a.m.
Yes, this comes
out
tomorrow. Turn on your
notifications.
Yep.
Yeah, we have been not... I said we would stack episodes last episode. We've been lazy. We were sick. Give us a break. And we're now recording the Thursday before this goes up, so I will be up editing.
I knew I was going to be this way about talking about music. and all the history of all that.
Which
but
is fine.
Anyway, cool stuff.
Whatever.
Cool stuff.
It's our show. If we want to do an hour, we can do an hour.
Yeah,
come on.
that's
We're the ones you're the one who set the 30-minute limit. I was thinking we would always do an hour. So.
People don't have time to watch that. We're not that entertaining. We're not that entertaining. But
I think
you are. You are.
Thank you. Yeah, speak for yourself. Come on.
Cheers.
All right, we gotta go.
Cheers. We do have to go.
Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Love
Ready?
You guys. No, hang on. We go.
Peace, love,
and
funk
rock and
soul.
Roll. I always forget it.
Rock and soul, funk and roll. We'll never get it together.
And I came up with that.
You did.
But I had brain surgery, so I forget some stuff.
It's fine. I think it's part of the pizzazz of the podcast that we don't do it right. You know what I mean?
Bottom line is, we love you.
Love you.
And we hope you enjoy some of the talk we do.
Thanks for watching.
All right. Peace out.
Bye.
See ya.